Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Real Film Nerds Podcast, episode number 279, the podcast that will never die. No, wait, that's not it. We're talking about Thor, Love, and Thunder. You know, I really think they missed a mark. The music on this one, they had Guns N' Roses, which is great. Everybody loves Guns N' Roses. But you think Thor, you think Thunder. Why not AC/DC? Mike, what are your thoughts?
That's a great question, Matt. I don't know, but this one really did seem to be pushing Guns N' Roses, man. It was like, 3 songs?
I figured they just bought the catalog for Guns N' Roses and they're like, well, let's just use another one.
I don't know, man, but it was fine. You know, I love Guns N' Roses, so it was great.
Oh, yeah, dude. Everybody loves GNR. You gotta love GNR. Now, I've never seen him in concert like you have. I wish I could have seen him in concert in the early 90s, back when we were way too young to probably be going to concerts. That would have been the pinnacle. But I have seen Slash, and I have met Slash, so that's kind of cool.
Dude, that's really cool, man.
Got nice photographs of him. So, in your face, Aaron.
Nice. Just rub it in, Matt.
No, Aaron was there. He came up, actually, when I met him and photographed him and stuff. It was for the 19. Slash came up, and there's this big benefit concert at the rodeo grounds, and it was pouring rain, and it was just horrible. I was so soaked. But I was more afraid of being electrocuted, actually, like the whole time. But I went up to the stands, and I hung out with Aaron and his girlfriend. I think that's the fiance now, if you want to know the truth, if I remember right.
Oh, okay. Was her name Jenny?
I don't remember. It's been several years, Mike. It's been almost a decade. It's been like 9 years.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, shout out to Aaron and congratulations. It is coming up soon, my friend. Anyways, all right, on with the show. Episode number 279, Thor, Love and Thunder. Mike, let's try not to spoil it here. First impressions, ready, set, go.
Oh, I had a great time. I think me and Taika Waititi would get along. He has a great sense of humor.
Okay, so this is going to be a fun podcast, Mike.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I didn't hate it, but I expected more. And I have to say, I went to the Thursday night showing. The last one, it was full of high school kids, and hardly anybody laughed. I think Taika's humor there was just something off. The humor was just so pushed on this, it just fell flat for me.
Oh, all right. I liked it.
There was a fair share of hits here and there, but I'd say 85% of the podcast, the movie, the humor was just felt forced to me.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I like without spoiling it, I like the opening sequence and some of that stuff, and then I liked...
Hold on. The opening sequence before the credits or after the credits?
So...
What character was in the scenes you discussed?
Not the very first part of the opening sequence.
Okay, so after the title slide and everything like that.
Yes.
Okay, because I was going to say, before the title slide, there wasn't a whole lot of humor in there, Mike. That was pretty dark.
Yeah, no, if that was supposed to be humorous, I think something's wrong with me.
Yeah. I was going to say, Mags needs to take you to see someone. So, speaking of Mags, did you take Mags with you, or did you go by yourself?
No, man, I had to go by myself. We got the kids.
So Megs basically hates you because you keep going to movies by yourself, and she has to deal with the children's all alone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, speaking of children's, there's going to be a new addition to the Hinshaw family here soon.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, when's that happening? Do you know? Or when is it scheduled?
So the baby is, according to the doctor, ready to pop, even though she's not due for 3 more weeks. The estimates of the doctor today is the baby's 8 pounds.
Oh, okay. Well, I will say that they estimated that Flynn was like 10 pounds, but when he was born, he was only 8 pounds because they do a lot of it off of his head. And he has a gargantuan noggin.
He does, man. He does. He has a 5 or 6 head, not a 4.
So the noggin definitely skewed what their measurements show for the weights.
So being a large-headed individual as well, I know his pain. You know, we grew up together. I got picked on a lot because of my noodle. A lot. I got beat up a lot because of my noodle.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that won't happen, but probably will.
I don't know, man. Kids seem pretty fucking horrible today.
I think kids are always fucking horrible.
Yeah, but now it's just more prevalent because they have the social medias that they're not supposed to be on until they're in high school anyways, but they do it anyways. That's the hard part.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
But guess what? I don't have to deal with that. You have to deal with that. Good luck, Mike. May the force be with you.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Like, I can shut everything down, but, you know, like Dr. Malcolm says, they'll find a way.
Yeah, life will find a way. Okay, so we're not talking Jurassic Park, Mike. We are continuing our discussion about Thor, Love, and Thunder. You know, that would have been a nice addition to Thor, Love, and Thunder if we got a little more Jeff Goldblum, because the sparkle fingers, oh my God, that was so great in Thor Ragnarok. So I loved Thor Ragnarok. I thought that movie was one of the best in the MCU. I think that's why I'm so disappointed in this film. I did not hate Thor, Love, and Thunder. I thought it was just okay. I think it could have been better. I think it could have been worse. Christian Bale, oh my God. He was amazing as Gore. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool that he was a bad guy. Because, you know, most of the time Christian Bale's a good guy. I was trying to think of any movies that I know recently or even back in the catalog where he was a bad guy.
Easy.
Which one?
Oh shit. I almost said Psycho, but it's not Psycho. The one where he's the Wall Street.
Yeah, okay.
He plays a psychotic
American.
person. Yeah, American Psycho. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Where he plays the 80s Wall Street cokehead that murders people. Yeah. That is a very dark Christian Bale.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But I absolutely think he was above and beyond anyone else in this film.
Okay. All right.
I wasn't a super huge fan of how they did Gore and how they introduced him and all those things, but we can get into that later. It's very different from the comic books, but not a ton. His look is very different from the comic books. He's actually an alien in the comic books. He looks like a humanoid in this. Natalie Portman as Lady Thor. I thought she did well. I enjoyed it. I liked seeing Lady Thor on screen. The Mighty Thor is what they call it in the movie. I believe that's the name of the comic as well. She was called Mighty Thor. It's a absolutely fantastic run. They stayed pretty true to the comic books on a lot of things with her, which I really, really liked. Another thing I wasn't super happy about is the Guardians of the Galaxy were like a throwaway.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure why they were in it.
Well, they were in it because of the last film that they were in with Thor. Thor climbs on the ship with them, and they are supposed to go on escapades and do all kinds of things, and it lasted like 5 minutes.
But it was one of the funny scenes.
It was. Yeah, it was fairly okay. But I would have liked to have seen a lot more adventures with Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy, especially since it was like the full-on Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, everyone. Mantis, Groot, Rocket, Nebula, Drax, everyone. Everyone was there.
All right, Matt. Before we get too far into spoilers.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Why don't we find out what you're drinking this fine evening, morning, afternoon?
Well, Mike, I'm not drinking anything fancy. I'm just drinking a Miller High Life, the Champagne of beers.
Okay, cool.
I should have bought some beers when I was down in Tucson. I went to a brewery but I totally forgot to buy a 6-pack. So I figured probably sitting in a 100+ degree car all day probably wasn't going to be a good thing for beer. So I didn't buy any. But I went to Barrio Brewing when I was down in Tucson. I actually went to the brewery. I love their blonde, and I got a whole bunch of beers down there that you can't get pretty much anywhere else. And it was very good.
Well, that's good, man. At least you made something fun out of Tucson trip.
Yeah, I had...
and cheap gas, right?
Yeah, dude, they're 40 cents cheaper than anywhere else in the state. I filled up at $4.55 in Tucson.
Yeah, Tucson always has the cheapest gas.
They do. They got the pipeline that runs right there, so they don't have to bring it in on trucks, They just move it around.
Yeah. So, Matt, I am drinking an oldie but a goodie Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
It's a good brew, Mike. It's a very good brew. I've had several of those in my days.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you have.
One you'd be excited about, Mike. It's only July, and Four Peaks is already announcing that the pumpkin porter is ready to go.
Oh, man. You usually wait till August. That's really early.
They're very early on the pumpkin porter. Yeah. Typically, it's the end of August, early part of September when their porter comes out, but it's already out.
Wow.
I haven't seen it in any stores yet, but I'm sure it's out there. So, okay, Mike. So we do not have a Marvel Cinematic Universe tie-in for this podcast because it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe film. It is completely tied in. Woo!
Yes. Bonus.
So let me go ahead and ask you my least favorite part of the podcast, Mike. What is today's amazing dad joke?
I got dad jokes, I don't think they understand though. Gotta think I'm funny, other people never laugh though. Dad jokes.
Matt, what do you give a sick car?
Oh, Jesus. A tune-up? I don't know.
A fuel injection.
That's just bad. That's just real bad, Mike. So bad.
Yeah.
Horrible. Okay, so now we are out of our little fun segment, which we always do about halfway through the podcast. Mike, that means we are now in the spoiler section for Thor: Love and Thunder. Right off the bat, I'm just going to ask this. It hit #1 at the box office over the weekend. My prediction is I think it's going to fall off hard because I don't think people enjoyed this movie. I think they were expecting a little bit more. I don't think people hate it, but I think they expected more because I've had a lot of people agree that they thought Thor: Love and Thunder was could have been better. It was quite boring. And you said you liked it.
I did like it, man. I thought it was just fine, man. It was entertaining. I don't know as many things about the comics, so I didn't know that Gore was supposed to be an alien. And I don't know a ton about the mighty Thor. But I don't know. I thought it was great, man. I thought it was just entertaining movie.
I'm not saying it wasn't entertaining. It was entertaining. I liked it. But I think they did Lady Sif dirty. She's a big character and they just kind of axed her. You don't even get to really see her death scene. She's just, oh, look, Lady Sif. She needs help. Oh, look, Lady Sif is dead. The Guardians of the Galaxy were a blip in this movie. They spent a lot of time on Zeus, which I thought was awesome being Russell Crowe. But explain to me why all the gods are just hanging out on a planet. Like, what do? They just, like, hang out? Like, we had Ego. He was a god. He's a celestial. He was a fucking planet.
Yeah, dude, I don't know about that. That part was a little weird of the story. But I thought it was really funny. The Russell Crowe, like, being Zeus and...
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great to cast him as Russell Crowe as Zeus. I thought it was perfect because he was in Gladiator.
Yeah, he's gained a few pounds.
Hey, we all like sandwiches. Especially me.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I thought the the storytelling by was it Krug, or is that how you say
Korg?
his name? Korg. Yeah, by Korg was hilarious in the
flashbacks.
in the opening sequence, kind of like the opening sequence, not the very opening. After the credits.
Mm-hmm.
To Enya, dude, come on, that was great.
Yeah, no, I thought that was good. I thought that was really good. But the thing I didn't like is they kept doing like flashbacks like that, just to try to advance the story. Like they had the flashback about Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman and them breaking up and, you know, all that stuff. They just kept having these flashbacks that, sure, I guess the information was needed, but the first one, if they just would have left it at the first one, it probably would have been fine. And then King Valkyrie. I don't understand how a woman is a king. She's a queen. Are kings better than queens? Because I thought, you know, the Queen of England is the ruler of everything over there. She's not the King of England. She's the queen. Like, what the hell?
I don't know, man. But I did love how new Asgard or whatever is now like a tourist attraction.
That was good. That was
hilarious.
Yeah, that was good. With the flying boat, and they have like seats and like 5-point harnesses and shit. That was funny. That was good.
No, I thought that was great, man.
Yeah, that's totally what would happen.
I liked Thor talking to his hammer all the time. Dude, that stuff was funny, man. You didn't think that was funny?
It was funny like the first time, but the thing that they just kept going with the same joke over and over about how upset, you know, Stormbreaker, which is an axe, not a hammer, was upset. And it's like, it's an inanimate object. It was funny the first time, but then they just kept going on and on and on and on with it. Kind of like the goat thing. Like when they brought out the screaming goats, that shit was hilarious when they first brought it out. And then the 9th time the goats are screaming while they're trying to do something, it's like, really? That's just obnoxious now.
Well, I thought it was like one of those jokes you just keep writing it. I thought it was funny, man.
Well, how many of them did he have to do? He had at least 4 or 5. And the worst part is I fucking love Taika Waititi. Like, I think he's a genius. Like, What We Do in the Shadows is so good. That show and movie is just phenomenal. I love Thor Ragnarok. I love Jojo Rabbit. But I have to say, I am not a super huge fan of this film. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just okay for a Marvel Cinematic Universe film. And then there's a lot of shit that just doesn't make sense as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe in this movie.
I don't know. It was to me, man. It was fun. I had a great time. I liked all the humor, man. The jokes didn't get old for me with the maybe the goats a little bit, but for the most part, I thought it was funny most of the times.
I don't know, dude. Maybe I was in a bad mood. I don't know. It wasn't there for me. Just not there. Like, okay, all right. Here's a great example. So, massive spoiler. At the end, Thor goes to rescue the kids. And Thor can now give his power to other people and have an army of Thors. If he would have done that during any part of the Infinity Saga, we would not have been facing Thanos. He could have given his power to 100,000 people and just wiped Thanos off the face of the earth. No problem. So why all of a sudden he can do it now?
All right, man. I have no clue, man.
I know.
I thought it was cool for the scene, though. It worked.
No, it worked out well. I thought it was a great slow motion scene with the kids flying through the air and doing the Thor thing with their sticks and rocks and shit. It was awesome. But I'm just like, the continuity, and I thought that's why they have people like Kevin Feige who get paid lots and lots and lots of fucking money to make sure this shit makes sense.
Well, Matt, I think he's done a pretty good job with how many movies is this now? 25?
He's done a great job up until Phase 4. Phase 4 has been a disaster in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, I really like Shang-Chi. I thought the first film of Phase 4 was great. The last Doctor Strange, the April Doctor Strange, I thought that was decent. Disappointed with this film. And I was disappointed with the other Phase 4 film. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Was it Black Widow?
Yeah, Black Widow. I was disappointed with Black Widow.
Okay. All
So
right.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too much of a stickler for my nerd stuff, and you just had a good time because you were at the theaters and you didn't have babies.
Yeah, it was fun. My theater, I think people laughed. I don't know, but well, maybe some of it's moved, Matt. I don't know. You're right. I mean, if Thor could give his powers to everybody, why didn't he just do that a little bit? Or wouldn't have had like 18 movies building up to Thanos fight. I don't know.
Right. I'm not saying it was bad, but why introduce something so badass in such a small film?
Yeah.
Explain where it came from and how he's able to do it. Is it because he was using Zeus's lightning bolt instead of Stormbreaker?
Maybe.
How is it that the hammer put itself together too? That's another good question.
Mighty Thor made it happen. She told us.
She can do whatever she wants. But I have to say that's one that is shocking to me that they did, was they stuck fairly true to form about Mighty Thor. So there's little things here and there that they didn't explain, because I mean it's hard for a 5 or 6 book run, and it's a part of the story. But in the Mighty Thor comic, she has cancer, and when she's wielding Mjolnir, the hammer, she is not dying from cancer. But one of the side effects, and they don't explain this in the movie, but in the comic is how they explain it. When she's wielding the hammer, it stops the cancer and cures her and makes her healthy. But guess what else it does? It pushes out the chemo that's getting rid of the cancer. So then when she's not wielding the hammer, the chemo's not doing its job because it's gone, but the cancer's there.
Nice.
So that's how she continues to die. That's how they explain it in the comic book.
They alluded to something like that in the movie.
Yeah, they kind of did. That's one I wish we would have seen a little bit more. Her assistant, I'm forgetting her name, the character's name, but her assistant was in there for a brief little bit, and she was kind of a big deal in WandaVision. I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more of her,
Oh, yeah.
But, Mike, I'm not going to say it's a bad movie. I think he set the bar so high with Thor Ragnarok. I wanted this to be even better. It sounded and looked in the trailers like it was going to be this 80s kind of love fest of metal and rock and fun and the two Thors, and it just didn't hit it for me.
Okay, man.
So, okay, Mike, how many reels do you give Thor Love and Thunder? I'm very curious.
So I'm going to give this one 4 reels out of 5.
Jeez, yeah, you did like it. Well, my Ma Henshaw, which I'm back on the radio, everybody, on Magic 99.1. You'll hear the radio interviews at the end of this podcast, but my Ma, I think at least 4 of these reels are nothing but Chris Hemsworth's naked butt. But my dear sweet mother, who turned 80 in May, gave Thor Love and Thunder 4.5 cookies. She loved this movie like you can't believe.
Yeah, man, because it was good.
Fine, then I'm wrong. But I'm wrong and I'm right, and I give Thor Love and Thunder 3 out of 5 reels. 3. It's just average at best.
All right, man. Well, don't forget to tell our listeners about the giveaway.
We don't have it yet, but just to let everybody know, we have 2 giveaways coming later on this month, and I think we have one in August. They're going to be physical Blu-ray copies of films, so make sure and listen to the podcast. We'll let you know what you got to do to enter. It usually involves an email and answering a question of some kind to be put in a drawing to win one of these Blu-rays. We do mail it to you, no obligations, none of that stuff. But yeah, pay attention. We got 2 of them coming. It'll be fun. It'll be good.
Matt, I'm just realizing we didn't do the rundown for this. Do you want me to do that now?
Do you want to do the rundown? I know, we just kind of rolled right into it.
Well, I'll just say it was directed and written by Taika Waititi, Jennifer Caton Robinson, based on characters by Stan Lee and Jason Aaron. And it's starring Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Christian Bale, and Tessa Thompson. And, I guess we talked about everything that goes on with Thor. So there we go.
Done. So next week is my pick I think Thor: Love and Thunder was kind of, when a Marvel Cinematic movie comes out, it's not really anybody's pick. We have to go see it. And I totally forgot it was coming out last week. So Mike, good on you.
I try to keep up.
You were doing better than me, man. So this movie, I talked a little bit about wanting to review this many times. I wanted to review it when it came out in the theaters, but we didn't get around to it. October is Harvest Horror Fest for us, and we have to stay true to it. But this was a horror movie. I'm just interested mostly in seeing this because it's done by a director/writer that I really, really like. His name is Edgar Wright, who is famous for doing films like Baby Driver, Shaun of the Dead, At World's End, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He did all those films. So I'm excited. This is his first horror film, like real horror film, not like joke horror film like Shaun of the Dead. But Last Night in Soho. And like I said, it came out last October. It just dropped on HBO Max. I'm excited. I'm excited to see this one. Hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, man. It looked interesting. We just didn't get a chance to review it when it came out. So we're going to review it now.
Yeah, and it wasn't in the theaters very long. But again, all of October is pretty wiped out for us because Harvest Horror Fest, man. We got to stay to our roots,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's exciting.
So, all right, Mike. Well, I think that's all I have. My advice is wait until Thor: Love and Thunder is on Disney Plus for free. But Mike's advice is go see it right now.
Yeah. I'd say everybody go see it. It's awesome, man.
Actually, let me take that back. Any kind of excuse to go watch a film in the theater is kind of nice. And this is definitely the kind of film you want to see in the theater. Big action sequences, superheroes, humor, jokes, rippling muscles, tight buttocks. Yeah, this is the kind of film you want to see in the theater. So I'll take mine back. Go watch this in the theaters. You're going to like it. Mike, go ahead. Do your thing before you fall asleep.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure to follow us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And go out there. Go watch this movie before you can stream it. And we'll catch you on the next pod. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now go out and catch a movie.
Thor: Love and Anger? Are you kidding me?
What is it? Thor.
Love and Thunder.
Why can't it just be Thor?
Because then you would get it confused with one of the other three Thor movies.
Okay, all right. Matt Henshaw from the Real Film Nerds podcast joining me this morning on Magic 99.1. You know I can't remember those movie names.
I know, words are hard.
Words are hard. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I haven't seen any of the Thor movies. Is it a Marvel movie?
None.
You have
not seen any of the Thor movies?
No, I haven't.
Even with the looks of Chris Hemsworth.
I was just going to say I might have to get a sneak peek of this one. I mean, somebody sent me a picture and it was intriguing. I sent you the picture. Did you send the picture to your mother?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
and that's all she's going to want to talk about.
Perfect.
This is Buns of Thunder.
Steel. Buns of steel.
No, he's the god of thunder.
Buns of thunder. Well, buns of thunder mean that noise comes out from between them.
But, buns of, I don't
steel.
know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because he's the god of thunder, lightning. I mean, that doesn't work either.
No, it doesn't.
You don't want an electric butt.
No, good Lord, no. All right. Well, what'd you think of the movie?
It was okay.
It was just, this was supposed to be the huge summer blockbuster, bigger than the Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick was way better, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Tell us.
This will be controversial, but I think the Doctor Strange 2 that came out in April, the other MCU film so far this year, I think it was better than this.
Is that right?
In my opinion.
Okay.
And I loved the last Thor. Thor Ragnarok was like one of my favorites, but this, it just feels very forced. I think there was too many hands in the creative process of this one. I don't think the director/writer Taika Waititi got to do what he really should have done or wanted to do.
Okay.
That's just me thinking. I don't know if that's actually what happened, because he was kind of left alone on Thor Ragnarok, and we got probably one of the best MCU films ever. And now he comes out with this one, and it's just, it was fun. It's entertaining. It's not terrible.
Okay.
I guess I just expected more.
Okay, you expected more. How many reels are you going to give it out of 5?
I give it an average score of 3.
Wow. Wow. Do you think that they're going to make the money that they expected to?
No.
No.
I don't think so. I think you'll get that opening weekend hit, and you'll get probably this first week, and then I think it'll fall off quite a bit.
Okay, we'll have to wait and see. Should we give your mother a call?
Do we have to?
Ma Hinshaw coming up. Yes, we have to. On Magic 99.1.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ma Hinshaw on Magic 99.1. How are you?
Welcome back, Alita. I'm happy now.
Oh, I'm happy to hear your voice too, Ma Hinshaw. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Too long. Oh, but that's okay.
Okay, well, we're at it now.
Fun.
Yes, and you saw the movie Thor.
Oh, yes.
And you saw the picture that I sent you.
Loved it.
Matt,
he does have great buns.
He does have great buns. Now, Matt said that he thought it was a butt double. Do you think it was a butt double?
No, because I listened to an interview and he was talking about how they had to train him to get his body like that. And he said the movie took 4 months to make, and he was so glad when he could quit training.
I bet.
All just for the butt scene.
All just for the butt scene. Now, was he totally naked in the butt scene? Because, I mean, I don't know what was going on in the front.
Oh, the front was awesome. I mean, I don't know how they build muscles up like that, but they do it. I mean, he had, instead of 6-pack, he had 8-pack abs and big, huge arm muscle. I mean, huge.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to see this movie. Well, your son gave it an average score of 3. What did you think of the movie, Ma?
Oh, shoot. 4.5. I thought it was great.
and at least 4 of those are just his buns.
Are just for the buns. Yeah.
Well, yes. Yeah. Good for him. He is precious.
Now, tell me.
He said it was so hard to use the cape with all those muscles.
So hard to use the cape? Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he had to. Usually he was wearing that cape and all that armor stuff and that stuff, you know.
Yeah, hard to do with muscles, I'm sure. Right, Matt? You would know.
Have you been drinking already?
Oh, that's great. I would highly recommend it.
What was your favorite part, besides the buns?
Oh, whiskers. Oh, I liked when he called on all the children to come and fight. Gore,
Spoilers.
that fish. Oh, Christian Bale. I didn't recognize him.
Really?
Anyway, I like that part where all the kids we're going to fight them too, you know, and their eyes glowed.
Okay.
It was fun.
All right. Very good. Ma Hinshaw likes the Thor. 4.5 cookies. Very nice review, Ma.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. We'll check in with you next week.
All righty. On 99.1.
You got it, girl. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So what are we going to review this next week?
So next week, there's nothing really hitting the theaters. We had a nice run while you were gone.
Yeah.
We've had a pretty good run all summer. There's more coming, you know. One I do want to touch on real quick.
Yes.
I'll be quick.
Okay.
Last week we did Hustle. It's a Netflix movie starring Adam Sandler.
I saw Hustle.
Did you see that?
Yes.
So Mike gave it a perfect score.
Okay.
I gave it a 4.5.
I loved it too.
If you've not seen it, it is well worth it. I'm not a huge sports movie fan.
And I am.
But that was a phenomenal film.
Yeah.
One of the best Netflix has ever put out.
And you didn't expect it from Adam Sandler.
Actually, most of his serious films have been really good.
I didn't like the last
you didn't
one.
Like
the
Uncut
Gem.
Gems? Oh,
I didn't like the
Uncut
Gem.
Gems.
No, I hated it, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
But I really liked Hustle. I gave him a shot, and it was a great story. And it was based on a true story, right?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know if it is.
Yeah, I think
it might have leanings of true stories.
Right, that's what it was.
But, I mean, you saw how many, almost hundreds of basketball players were in that. I mean, it was incredible.
Yes, it was really
such
great.
a good film.
Yeah.
Anyways, so next week, we're going back. This is a film that I wanted to see in October. It came out last year. It's a horror movie, and I'm not a big fan of horror movies, But what turns me on to this is the director, Edgar Wright. This is his first horror movie he's ever done.
Okay.
It's called Last Night in Soho. It just came out on HBO Max.
Okay, Last Night in Soho. We'll hear what Matt thinks about the movie next Monday on what station, Matt?
The magnificent Magic 99.1.
Thank you.